The Community Television Consortium of Stark County presents this week's edition of What's Happening, the show about you, the people of Stark County. And now your host for tonight's program, Susie Vitale.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. I'm Susie Vitale. Our first guest this evening is Mary Pratt, who's from the Stark County Department of Human Services. And Mary, would you like to tell us what your job is there?
Yes, I'm the minority foster and adoptive parent recruiter.
Okay, what's the difference? Is it fostering and adopting, or is it foster to adopt?
Well, we actually have three programs. It's foster parent, adoptive parent, and we have foster to adopt. And that program is basically designed for people who aren't quite sure what they want to do, and they can foster. Children placed in their home, we believe, will eventually be placed for adoption, and the best place for them to keep from moving them from a foster home and then move them again to an adoptive home, we put them in a foster to adopt home.
That's really a good idea. Now, why is there a need for a minority recruiter for adoption and foster care?
Because, Susie, in the state of Ohio, there's approximately 3,000 minority children available for adoption, and Stark County has decided to make a real effort to recruit minorities to adopt. Over 50% of the children in our custody right now, permanent custody, are minority children.
Let's talk about those children. Are they individual children? What age are they?
No, unfortunately, we don't have individual children. We have sibling groups of 3, 4, and 5. And that's what, besides being minority, that's one of the difficult things to place them, especially when we try to place them together.
Sure.
To try to talk someone into, or for someone to even think about adopting 4 children at one time, it's just kind of mind-boggling. I always tell people, though, that they really should give it a chance, because it sounds like 4 is a huge number. It really is. But most of these children are used to taking care of themselves, and they take care of each other. So it won't be like they're adopting 4 helpless children who can't help them take care of them.
That's right. It's not like 4 babies.
Right, right.
Now, you yourself have had this experience. You've adopted. Do you want to tell us about that? Was that a good experience?
Oh, yes. It was wonderful. I adopted a little boy. He was 2 at the time we adopted him. He's now 9. And a little girl who's now 5. And as she keeps reminding me, soon will be 6. Because her birthday's in February. And they've just been a joy in my life. They really have.
I can tell that, too. You have a lot of enthusiasm when you come on to talk about this. So if someone is interested in adopting and they're frightened by the 4, there's a lot of support that comes from Human Services.
Oh, yes. We don't just drop the kids off at the door and run and say, okay, see you. We give a lot of support. There's ongoing training that the adoptive parents can take even after the children are adopted or placed in their home. I have made an effort to go out to talk to minority families who have adopted to just share some of my experience with them to help them get over the rough times. And we find that that helps also. There's an adoption worker who will check on them and make sure that everything's going okay. They need not think that because they adopt, the agency will not be there to support them, because we will.
Now, these children have come from difficult circumstances. Do you want to explain how they come into your custody?
Some of the children placed in our custody have been abused, some of them sexually, some of them physically. Some of them are just in our custody because their parents are unable to take care of them. I'm reminded of my favorite, I shouldn't say favorite, but they are a sibling group of 4. Their mother realized that she was just not capable of raising them, and she gave the agency custody of them. They're a great group of children. They're not placed in the same foster home right now, but whenever you put them all 4 together, you can tell that bond is still there. So all of them haven't been abused. All of them haven't been, some of them just, the parents just could not take care of them.
For those who have, there's also special training to help deal with any kinds of...
Right, we have mandatory sexual abuse training for all of our applicants who come through training so that they can deal with some of the problems that go along with being sexually abused. And as I said before, we have ongoing training, and they are notified every month of what training is going on, that if they're having a specific problem, they can go to that training and learn how to deal with it.
Okay, if somebody is interested and they're a little bit nervous about calling because they're afraid they might end up under any kind of obligation, who could they call, and what sort of information could you give them?
They can call the Stark County Department of Human Services at 438-8789. And what we'll do is we'll send them out a packet of information about our program. That doesn't obligate them at all to go any further than that. We also hold informational meetings twice a month, and that's for them to come in and get their questions answered, and we'll talk about the program further. And if that still doesn't obligate them, they are not obligated any time. They can pull out anytime they get ready. But we try to give them as much information as we can to make an informed decision about if this is what they want to do.
Okay, real quickly, what's the number?
438-8789.
Okay, thanks for coming, Mary.
All right.
Next up, we have Canton Country Day School. Stay with us. Our next two guests are from Canton Country Day School. We have Pam Gaynor, who's the Director of Development, and Sherry Miller, who is the Chairman of the Great Escape, Co-Chairman of Great Escape. Okay, Pam, do you want to tell us a little bit about Country Day School? Where's it located?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Canton Country Day School is located at 3000 Demington Avenue Northwest in Canton, and it is an independent elementary school, kindergarten through 8th grade. We have this year 228 students. We're growing. We're in the middle of an expansion program. During the last 5 years, we've experienced a big spurt in growth, so we're hoping to do some building so that we can accommodate this growth in student population.
Okay, you have a really good program going on over there.
Yes, we do. We think it's a great program.
Okay, and so you're planning on adding new buildings on the property?
We are. We are physically just about doubling the size of the school. We are going from one section of each grade, kindergarten through 8th grade, to 2 sections. So we will have twice as many children, therefore we need more classes and just more all-around space.
That's great.
It is great.
Okay, now Sherry, you're the co-chairman of the Great Escape. Do you want to tell us what the Great Escape is?
Great Escapes is the major fundraiser of the Parent Association of the school. This will be our 9th year. We offer a live auction, dinner and dancing. This year it will be held at Brookside Country Club on February 11th. We do send out invitations the beginning of January, but it is open to the public. Just by calling the school and getting on the mailing list, we encourage the community to get involved. We offer approximately 25 or 30 live auction packages, and anything from a trip to Washington, where Congressman Regula is your host, to we have quilts where each child in the school actually does some kind of a drawing on a square, and we have them quilted. And because the school population is growing, we actually have 3 queen-size quilts this year, which is very unusual.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Since the theme is the Stone Age, the children have done a lot of hieroglyphics and colorful hand paintings, cave drawings, things like that. We have approximately a third of our packages are for children, another third for families, and then the last third is for couples, so that we really have something that everyone in the community could be interested in.
Well, that's great. Now, Sherry mentioned that you have the Stone Age theme. Is this a black tie event, but a Stone Age theme? How does this work?
It really is not a black tie event. In the past years, we've had all sorts of costumes. Last year, our theme was the circus, and we had lots of clowns and all sorts of different things. It's really whatever you'd like to do. If you'd like to dress in the theme, we encourage that. If you don't want to, I would say just come comfortably and enjoy the evening.
Okay, so how does this evening go? It starts out with what?
We start out with kind of a cocktail hour, and we have some displays up as far as the packages goes. So everyone kind of socializes and walks around and see what's available, looks over their programs. That's about 6 o'clock we start. And then we sit for dinner. This year, something we're going to do that we've done last year also was instead of having a sit-down dinner and being served, we're going to have different food stations set up. To give everyone an opportunity to mingle a little more, kind of, you know, if your taste buds tend toward one thing, you can go there 2 or 3 times and avoid maybe 1 or 2 of the other sections. And then we start with our live auction, and after that we have dancing, and that takes us till about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, now Pam, obviously the money raised is used at the school. How do you use this?
Well, over the last few years, there have been a variety of ways that the money has been used. The Parents Association has been very generous with the school and is really a great partner with the school. I would think that the areas that we have used most of the funds would be in the areas of buying computer equipment and materials for the science and library. And we have used funds for professional development for the faculty to be able to go out to other places. The Parents Association is currently working on a pledge to equip the new computer lab in the new facility.
Okay, we've only got less than 30 seconds, so what is the phone number people could call, and what's the date again?
The date is February 11th, Brookside Country Club. Theme is the Stone Age. And the phone number at the school, which they can call to receive an invitation, is 453-8279.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thanks very much.
Next up, we have the American Red Cross. Stay with us. Our next guest is Jody Fellers, who is an AIDS preventive specialist with the American Red Cross. And Jody, we've had the American Red Cross on a lot of times, and this is a fairly new program. Is that right?
Yes, it is. In fact, I work for the American Red Cross, but this particular service is provided through the Rape Crisis Services. It's just an addition to the services that we already provide, and it is fairly new, beginning really this summer.
Okay, why has the Red Cross added this on?
Well, basically because we feel that there's a great need for this type of education and prevention, and through working with rape survivors, we've come to the conclusion that there's just a great need for this type of information to be out in the community.
Okay, now you have several programs that you had mentioned earlier. What are the programs that you offer?
Okay, basically what we have are 3 main programs. We have one that we offer for preschool children in schools, in the elementary schools, and it's very non-threatening for the children at that age, very age appropriate, and we go into the schools, and really what we show are videos, and they're puppets, so they're, you know, it's a real non-threatening situation for them. And we also have programs for teenage students, and basically do the same thing. We have a video that we show, and we have activities that we can do as a class, and taking a lot of posters and statistics and, you know, things like that. And then we also offer a community video and program that we show, and that's just more of a general overview on AIDS and HIV and education and preventive measures that all of us can take.
Now, the community program also goes into corporations and businesses as well, is that right?
Right, yes. We offer programs for your workplace and just basic education that really all of us need to know.
Now, with the rapid rise and increase in teenage pregnancy, obviously there needs to be more education. What sort of things do you try to teach when you go in the schools? How are you trying to reach the kids?
Well, one of the biggest things that we want to do is break some of the myths and false beliefs and false ideas that basically our society has created and what we believe in, and just do some basic education and try to get across to the kids that's not actually the type of person that you are, but it's what you do as that person, and you know, break some of the stereotypes that our society has and so on. So our basic point is to do some prevention and educational type things.
Now, when you go into a school, do you go in several weeks, or do you go in one time and do a presentation? How does that work?
It really depends on what the school wants. Sometimes we'll go in and just do a short presentation. Sometimes we'll go in for a class that occurs, you know, on a certain rotation, maybe go in like every 5 weeks, or it just depends on the need of the school and what the specific teacher or the specific class is in need of.
What sort of training have they prepared you with?
Wow, I'm still in that process. I'm still going through a lot of process. There's basic AIDS education that I've taken. I'll be taking some instructor courses, some basic first aid courses, CPR, just a variety of things actually.
Now, you mentioned that this is a service of the Rape Crisis Center. Obviously, this is something new, that a rape victim not only had to deal with being raped, but now there's also a fear of AIDS.
Right.
Okay, what do you do do you work with the rape?
Yes, actually,
victims?
I also do some rape counseling, and that's one of the key issues that we will discuss in counseling is, you know, where you can go for an HIV test if you want to do that, and just talk about different issues that would come up in a rape situation, especially concerning HIV and AIDS.
Do you happen to know if that is a frequent occurrence, that AIDS would be transmitted during a rape?
I really don't know. It's hard to determine, and it's hard to get accurate stats on that information.
Now, if a school or a business would want to contact the Red Cross and would like to have you come in, or would like to even just find out about the program and talk to you, who would they call and who would they ask for? What number would they call?
They can call the American Red Cross, the Canton chapter, and the number is 453-0146, and they can ask for me, Jody, and I would be glad to give them any information over the phone or send out any information through the mail. We have lots of brochures I can send, or, you know, I'd even be glad to come out to the schools and they can preview any of the materials that we have. I'd be glad to do any of that.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you.
We've got more. Stay with us. Our next two guests are Dr. Frankie Roman from Doctors Hospital, who's the Director of Sleep Disorders, and Nancy Williams, who's from the Arthritis Foundation. And it seems unusual to have both of you from these two different organizations here together. So why are you working together?
The Arthritis Foundation is working collaboratively with Doctors Hospital to conduct self-help courses for people with fibromyalgia.
Okay, do you want to real basically tell us what fibromyalgia is?
That's a very difficult question to answer. Fibromyalgia, in general, is poorly understood. What we know about it right now, it's a general muscular disease of achiness, stiffness, multiple tender points, poor sleep, and general fatigue. We think about 1 to 2% of the population have it, and we're very excited about this project, and we want to work with the Arthritis Foundation. It's the first project of its kind in Ohio, and unfortunately we were totally overwhelmed by the initial response that we received.
So you're making the program up as you go. So how is fibromyalgia associated with the Arthritis Foundation? Is this a condition that goes along with arthritis?
Well, yes. Connective tissue disease goes along with forms of arthritis, so that's where it's falling into that category.
Okay, so we have people who are suffering from achiness and a lot of pain, I understand. And this ties in how with the sleep disorders?
We basically fell into it. It is the second most common diagnosis in a rheumatologist's office. But in the sleep field, we found out that most of these people have very poor non-restorative sleep. When they came into the laboratory and we analyzed their brain waves, or EEG, we found that many of them have, it seems like their brain is fighting each other with half awake, half asleep. And even though behaviorally they're asleep, they're not getting good deep sleep, restorative sleep. So they wake up despite being in bed 8 hours feeling achy, tired, depressed and fatigued. It's only one of the things we look in the sleep laboratory, but we want to work with the local medical community in attacking some of these symptoms as a coordinated effort through the Arthritis Foundation.
Okay, how is this set up now? Do you send people there, or how does this work?
Yes, we can take phone calls at the Arthritis Foundation or at the Doctor's Hospital, and we'll be starting training of leaders for the courses at the beginning of '95, and hopefully conduct the courses starting January, February, March time. We also have a water exercise program, which is good for people with fibromyalgia. It's a recreational exercise course. You do not need to know how to swim. The water is kept very at a nice warm temperature, which is therapeutic to the body. Exercise is an important part in any form of arthritis.
Okay, what sort of things are you going to be teaching? Just relaxation techniques?
Well, hopefully I'll be one of the leaders in the pool therapy. But my aspect is to deal with sleep hygiene, how to help them sleep better. Our focus also is how can we change their sleep stages or sleep patterns and make them go into deeper sleep. We do know, not scientifically, but from past experience, that people who sleep better, a lot of their fatigue and a lot of their achiness goes away. It's not the cure, but we know we can help them if we make them sleep better, and that is only one aspect that we're going to address. Real
generally, how could anyone sleep better? Are there basic things that you can do to try to get your sleep?
Oh, absolutely. We have the worst lifestyle. Since Thomas Edison invented electricity, we've become a 24-hour society. And instead of increasing our leisure time and our sleep time, we've actually decreased it by 20% in the last century. You know, we have all these work obligations, social activities, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of our poor sleep is due to our lifestyles. For example, a cup of coffee lasts 4 hours in your system. Alcohol is very bad for your sleep. The amount of stress that we have. And unfortunately, the first thing we do in our lifestyles is cut sleep. The first thing we sacrifice is sleep to do something else. For example, tape the show at this hour.
Okay, now we only have about 30 seconds left, but if somebody is suffering from fibromyalgia or knows who is or someone that is, how do they reach you? Do they call either organization or?
Yes, right now we're accepting phone calls through the Arthritis Foundation because we were completely overwhelmed by the response. We had over 900 responses to a seminar we gave. We are recruiting local physicians in the community. For example, Dr. Mark Pellegrino, who's done extensive work with fibromyalgia. Dr. Glenn Blankenhorn also has done work with fibromyalgia, and we're looking for different specialists in different fields to form a multidisciplinary team to address fibromyalgia in this area. We're very excited. We hope this is a regional referral center.
Okay, real quickly, what's the number?
837-7200. That's our general number at Doctor's Hospital, and the Arthritis Foundation
is 452-1733.
Okay, thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you for having us.
Next up is Natalie Gelfo with the calendar of events. Stay with us. Next up is Natalie Gelfo with the calendar of events. Natalie?
Thank you, Susie. The Video Camera Club has its regular meetings the third Wednesday of each month, starting at 7 p.m. The club meetings are held at the Market Heights Community Church, located at 3129 North Market Avenue in Canton. The club is open to anyone who is interested in video or audio. Members have a variety of audio backgrounds. The membership dues are only $8 per year, and members are always ready to help anyone with their video or audio questions and concerns. Please plan to attend and also bring a friend. For more information, please call 494-1266. Help foster the growth of a child. Learn how to become a foster parent for the Stark County Department of Human Services. For more information, call 438-8789. Winter Skies at the McKinley Museum Planetarium will be running December 21st through March 20th. Programs feature the current night sky visible in this area on this date, as stars, planets, and constellations and deep sky objects are identified and discussed. Programs are scheduled Saturdays at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Weekday programs are available during the summer. The planetarium will be closed, though, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's Day. For more information, call 455-7043. The National Eye Care Project is providing free medical eye care at no out-of-pocket cost to individuals who meet the following requirements: a United States citizen or legal resident, age 65 or older, and no access to an eye doctor seen in the past. For more details, call the National Eye Care Project helpline at 1-800-222-3937. Canal Fulton Heritage Society is taking applications for its $200 scholarship. It is available to any resident of Canal Fulton, Lawrence Township, or Northwest Local School District who will attend college full-time during the 1995-96 school year. Applicants must return the form by May 1st, 1995, then write an essay on a provided topic by July 1st. 50 hours of volunteer service with the Society is required. For more information, call 854-6168. American Heart Association of Stark County is offering free copies of Silent Epidemic: The Truth About Women and Heart Disease. It discusses the seriousness of heart disease, risk factors, methods of control, and steps towards prevention. Call the office at 456-2871. Educational Opportunities, a nonprofit travel agency from Lakeland, Florida, is offering a 10-day trip to Israel in February 1995. The cost is $1,400 from New York City or $1,800 from Cleveland. This includes motel, transportation by motor coach, breakfast, dinner, English-speaking guides, visitors, site fees, gratuities, taxes, customs, and administrative fees. The local contact person for the trip is Charles Croft. His number is 454-3434. Mammograms are available for Stark County residents age 40 and over and under 40 with risk factors for breast cancer. The program is sponsored by the Stark County Health Department and Timken Mercy Medical Center. For times and locations, call 493-9914. If you're a nonprofit group or organization and you would like to be featured here on CTC and What's Happening in Stark County, simply write Community Television Consortium, P.O. Box 8335, Canton, Ohio 44711, or simply call us at 493-8925. What's Happening in Stark County will be aired Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock, Thursdays at 6:30 on Warner Cable Channel 11, or Thursdays at 7:30, Maslin Cable Channel 50. And that will be all.
Thanks, Natalie. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone from all of us here at the CTC. That wraps up another edition of What's Happening in Stark County. Thanks for joining us.